Hey, welcome to today's video. I'm Rick Chappell with DMCA So today we're taking a look at the big news. Down goes Christopher Brady. He is the quote-unquote alleged, well, I guess not alleged anymore, abusive YouTube DMCA scammer. So Mr. Brady was running a interesting little scam, leveraging the DMCA. And what he was doing was contacting people who have channels on YouTube who are obviously making their living off of those channels. So, PewDiePie, these kinds of people. Now, he didn't contact PewDiePie, but you know what I'm talking about, the kind of people that make their living there. And he was using a element of the DMCA that's just ripe for abuse, and that is the repeat infringer policy. So the way it works is basically websites and apps are given immunity from copyright infringement claims. However, they have to maintain something called a repeat infringer policy. And what that policy says is that any business any user who receives more than X number of complaints within X period of time has to be terminated. So if we use it in the vernacular of the YouTube situation, YouTube has to have a repeat infringer policy. And if one of the people who's publishing videos on YouTube receives more than, let's say, 3 complaints within a year or two, then YouTube has to terminate those people. Well, what if you're one of those people and you make your living off of YouTube videos? I mean, we've all seen tons of people on YouTube, and that's the way they make their cash. Well, Mr. Brady was using that leverage by telling these people, hey, pay me $150 or $300 or something like that, or I will submit fake DMCA takedown notices against your account in an effort to try to get your account terminated. Well, if you're making your living off of that, off of that account, that's that's pretty much classic extortion. And now, not in his defense, but I will say Mr. Brady's not the only person who's done this. This is not an uncommon scam. And YouTube hasn't done much about it in the past, but this time, for some reason, they did. They actually sued Christopher Brady in Nebraska and went after him. And the suit was filed, I believe, in August, sometime this summer, so not that long ago. And typically we'd wait 6 months to a year to, before it got to trial and see how it went. But in this case, we have an early resolution through what's called stipulated judgment. And as part of that stipulated judgment, Brady has agreed to an injunction to no longer submit DMCA takedown notices on YouTube. He's agreed to pay $25,000 fine, and he has apologized for making fake infringement claims. Seems kind of light, huh? I mean, this was extortion. He was threatening people's livelihood, and that's all he gets. Huh? Now, what about the stipulated judgment? I don't believe the court has actually accepted it yet. So the difference between a stipulated judgment and a settlement is typically a confidential agreement. So 2 or 3 or however many parties are involved, they come to an agreement. One side ends up paying the other side some money, often a good bit of it. However, everything is kept confidential so that the at-fault party can save some face. Well, with a stipulated judgment, that's not the case. Everything's public. Mr. Brady has no privacy whatsoever in this. And so obviously it's being published and released that, hey, this guy got caught. And you should feel no empathy for Mr. Brady. He was threatening people's livelihood. And that is full-on scumbag activity. So Mr. Brady should get no empathy from you at all. What he was doing was grossly wrong. Now, the question I have is, we haven't heard anything about a criminal prosecution, and I wonder why not. For all the various things we charge people in this country with, here we have a classic case of extortion. Why is he not being charged criminally? Who knows? Maybe they're looking at those kinds of charges and we'll see something down that line. But frankly, he deserves it. This guy deserves to go to jail. And there's just no other way about it. Imagine if it was you. Imagine you spent a couple years on YouTube doing videos and you're building up your following and you finally get to a point where you're making a living. And then this guy starts sending you videos threatening your livelihood for things you haven't done. You haven't abused copyright. How would you feel? Yeah, this guy needs to go to jail. So anyways, that's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one.